JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, police nabbed 5 wanted men. The police are reporting that 5 men wanted for various crimes were arrested in a joint police military operation on Wednesday, September 23. According to the police, the operation was part of a larger initiative geared towards targeting gangs and major crime syndicates across the island. In custody are Ian Somerville, otherwise called Buju, wanted for the June 30, 2019 murder of Jerome Harris. Sean Williams, wanted for the double murder of Delroy Small and Desmond Chambers, as well as the shooting in Kingston West. Avanash Bryson, wanted for a shooting in Kingston West. Francois Morris, otherwise called Cruz, wanted for a shooting in Kingston West. And Naketa Leslie, otherwise called Frilly Q, wanted for a shooting in Kingston West. Dispute over woman leads to Plumber firing shots. The St. Anne police arrested and charged 33-year-old Christopher Watson, otherwise called Marks, a plumber of Philadelphia district in Brownstown, with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition and discharge of a firearm within 40 feet of a public space, following an incident in his community on Friday, September 25. Reports are that about 6 p.m., Watson and a farmer had a dispute over a woman, during which he left and returned with a firearm. Watson then fired several shots in the air at the man's gate, then left. The matter was reported to the police and an investigation was launched. Watson was subsequently arrested and charged on Tuesday. His court date is being finalized. Teen arrested over illegal gun and ammo. The Westmoreland police arrested and charged an 18-year-old with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition following an incident on the Bluefield Main Road on Thursday, July 23. The teen has been identified as Ronaldo Moore, otherwise called Chin, of Cornwall District, Hertford in Westmoreland. Reports are that about 3:15 p.m., a team of officers were on mobile patrol along the Bluefield Main Road when they observed Moore and another man on a motorcycle. They further observed the pillion removing an object from his waistband, which he handed to the driver. The police then signaled the men to stop. However, the driver disobeyed. The driver then lost control of the motorcycle and collided in an embankment. Both men escaped. The object was retrieved and found to be a Glock 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 4 9mm rounds of ammunition. Moore was later arrested during an operation on Tuesday, September 22, and charged on Monday, September 28. The other suspect is still being sought by the police. His court date is being finalized. Iron Dog booked for woman's murder in St. James. The St. James police have charged 24-year-old Adrian Campbell, otherwise called Iron Dog, of Red Ground, Montpelier in the parish, with the murder of a woman at her home in the same community on Wednesday, September 23. The deceased woman has been identified as 38-year-old Venita Brown of Red Ground in the parish. Reports are that about 7:15 p.m., Campbell allegedly kicked open Brown's door and opened gunfire, hitting her to the upper body. He then fled the area on foot, but was held by the police a few hours later at his home and was charged with murder on Tuesday, September 29. A date for his appearance in court is being finalized by the police. Cops arrest woman on suspicion of drug smuggling. The police on Tuesday arrested a woman at the Sangster International Airport in St. James, who they say attempted to smuggle 5 pounds of cocaine out of the island. According to the police, a K9 team was conducting security screening of baggage for an outgoing flight about 11:55 a.m. when they were alerted to the luggage belonging to the suspect. They said a search of the suitcase revealed a false compartment containing the illicit drug. Further checks, the police said, led to the suspect's handbag, which also contained cocaine. She was subsequently arrested on reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. Investigations are ongoing. Education Ministry teams up with Choose Life International to offer psychosocial support to children. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has moved to boost its psychosocial support to children and parents in a partnership with Choose Life International. This, the ministry said, follows reports that 2 girls ages 8 and 9 committed suicide over the past week. According to the ministry, on Monday, Education Minister Favour Williams visited the home of 8-year-old Naomi Jones, a student of Linstead Primary School, who was allegedly found hanging from the roof of the living room on Saturday, September 26. She was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. She was set to move on to grade 3 at the start of the new academic year on October 5. Teams from the police and Child Protection and Family Services Agency also visited the home on Monday, the ministry said. Likewise, last Saturday, 9-year-old Bianca Spence of Roseau Primary reportedly died from self-inflicted stab wounds. This is not something that any of us would wish to see happening. Naomi was a precious, innocent life with so much promise, Minister Williams said as she consoled the parents of the little girl. She added that amid the COVID-19 crisis, every effort will be made to alert parents to the possible impact on children and their need for extra support as the society goes through the pandemic and the schools remain closed. The minister said it recently sponsored teachers and guidance counselors to participate in training seminars to help guide their response to children who have attempted or who are struggling with thoughts of suicide. Some cops denied gun permits for spousal abuse, says FLA. Allegations of domestic violence are among the main reasons cops are being denied permits for private firearms, the regulatory agency has revealed. The Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, disclosed that in other cases, cops are denied permits because they are either on probation or still in training. The application process examines a spectrum of circumstances to include home inspections and criminal records and assesses the risk associated with each individual's need for a private firearm, the FLA said on Tuesday. Therefore, the application's profession is not the sole deciding factor. Persons who apply to the FLA are applying on a personal basis and are not granted firearm license for business or work purposes. Chief Executive Officer of the FLA, Shane Darling, cited the case of a policeman who was relieved of his government-issued firearm by the police high command. According to Darling, the cop was deemed by JCF superiors to have mental issues and therefore posed a risk to public safety. He said the FLA revoked the policeman's gun permit after conducting its own inquiry, which included talks with the cop's commanding officer, which confirmed the concerns. However, Darling charged that the cop, with the support of the Jamaica Police Federation, has gone to court to challenge the revocation. We had to act, the FLA CEO insisted. The case is still pending. The disclosures by the FLA come days after the Federation complained about the high number of police personnel who are being refused gun license on the grounds that they have not justified the need for one. The Federation represents the interests of cops up to the rank of inspector. In the last 3 weeks, at least 10 cops have reported that they were denied permits for private firearms, according to Chairman of the Federation, Sergeant Patria Rowe. Amid a number of attacks on members of the security forces in recent days, Rowe complained that the refusal of the permits makes it more difficult for cops to protect themselves and their families. This is absolutely ridiculous, and we believe that the actions of the FLA are exposing our members to additional vulnerabilities, he said. But Darling took issue with Rowe's assertion, calling it unfortunate and sensational. The FLA has met with the police union several times to discuss the issues we have while police officers are denied permits, Darling said. So I don't know why the Police Federation would make that statement. Darling noted also that it is the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, that is directly charged with the overall protection of cops in the execution of their duties. It is important to note that the FLA is the regulatory body responsible for the management and governance of private firearm ownership in Jamaica, Darling said in a statement on Tuesday, responding to Rowe's utterances. It is therefore unfortunate that Sergeant Rowe sought to mislead the public that the FLA is exposing the police to harm by denying them firearm license, he added. Darling said as a matter of standard operating procedure, the FLA is mandated to govern the issuance of private firearms license through comprehensive investigations, background checks, and a due diligence process that relies heavily upon the intelligence arms of the JCF. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.